Hey everybody. So I did do a bit more than I thought I was. Sanded it all down. Pretty happy with it. Looks good so far. And I glued the wings on because for the next step, I think if I do this properly, I won't have to putty anything on the wings. But you never know. So, yeah, I don't like puttying. It's not my favorite part of modeling. You know, everyone, I think, has a least favorite part. Mine is sanding down because I'm not very good at it. But the next step I do when I'm sanding is you make this putty down, and it's pretty easy to damage. And sometimes, at least with me, um, I've had times where I can't quite get it polished straight and smooth enough. Let me just. What the devil is that driving by? Okay, that was rude. It sounded like a whole bunch of pots and pans rolling down. Anyways, where was I? So yeah, my next step is yeah, I get it all and I get it grainy looking and I don't like it. And when I use like really fine sandpaper and I try and polish it and I could never really seem to get it nice enough. So what I use instead is Tamiya surface primer. I'm just shaking it up here on the side. Um, and this stuff is nice because you can use it as primer. You can thin it down with lacquer thinners, and yeah, it's pretty nice stuff to have on hand. Uh, I have a couple files that I like to use. This is a very tough grit one, and it makes marks on it. And this is much more of a buffer and polishing kind of file, and it works really well. And then I have a whole bunch of sandpapers that I use. But these are nice to have because of the control. And to get rid of like big clumps and stuff. So like there was a big clump right here. And I was sanding it all off. And then I'll take this one and try and polish it up as much as I can. There's still kind of these little teeth marks left behind. But we're going to take care of all that today. So, let's open this up. It's got a good stink to it. So, if you have asthma like me, I'm I'm always doing that when I'm in a store and I'm like buying a new product, like Tamiya lemon cement. I saw it and I went, "Oh, lemon, that might not be so bad." And I open up the bottle and I start sniffing it. I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna look great on the security cameras." But I have to know if it's too bad that it's something I won't be able to handle. So, I hope I don't have to explain that one day. That'll be a very awkward conversation. Okay, so you just dab it on. You just paint this stuff on. And when it dries, it becomes really hard. Um, and like I said, I like to put it onto the putty, and it makes it, like I said, more polished. It protects the putty, and I've had pretty good results with this stuff. I've only had a few times where I've really been able to see it go through. That was my fault. And like I also said, you can take it, you can thin it down, and use it for airbrushing. You could airbrush your model with it. It comes in two colors, as far as I'm aware of still. There's only two, gray and white. So I need quite a bit in here. That's to cover up all that. So there's a big trail of putty there. The bottom half was kind of warped. Went on a little crooked, so on the bottom part I had to do a bit more sanding than I hoped, but it turned out, I think. Oh yeah, the other thing about this stuff, if you are painting it on, like I am right now, don't leave your brush. Don't get up and do something and come back to your paintbrush. It could very quickly. Oof! I need a fan. This stuff's getting to me now. It stinks. It will, if it dries, it will dry out your bristles. So, and then your paintbrush is ruined. So I'm going to paint this on the wing edge. Okay, let's get going here. We're almost done. Okay, there we go. Now, again, you can put this in your airbrush, and you can airbrush with it. I've seen a couple of modelers do it. I've never done it myself personally, and I've rarely ever seen modelers do it before. I've mostly see people using it for like scratches and things like that, and it works pretty well. Big scratches, you kind of need putty for that, but thinner scratches you should be okay with. You probably don't need putty. You can just use the surface primer. Like I've said in another video, it's kind of like whiteout, but I know some modelers use whiteout for filling it in, but I have heard people say that it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't bond to the plastic well. And this stuff does. It's nice stuff to use. So, yeah, that's it. So my next step is, of course, I'm going to sand all of this down and polish it. It's going to look really nice. Same thing on the bottom and on the wing edges. And then glue these on, the ailerons. And I think then I'm basically done, ready to paint the cockpit, but I don't know how to do it yet. What I'm going to do... I'm still debating all this. But I'm getting close. Very, very close. Closer to being done than I thought. So, it's a good model. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. My Miyazaki tribute. I really hope to get this done, like, fairly quick. I'm almost done, according to the instructions. So, not much left to do. I'm not going to put on the drop tank on this one. But it's a kit I would like to buy a couple of in the future to build all the different ones on that are included. And yep. These are pretty dirty. There's quite a bit of flash on these, so I gotta take some time out now and clean them. So that was Tamiya putty, basic putty. It's good stuff, and surface primer. That's just how I do it. I like to put it on there, and works for me. Might work for you if you find it. But remember to have some lacquer thinner to clean this stuff up. That's basically the only thing that'll clean it. Don't use Tamiya like airbrush cleaner. That'll definitely ruin your bristles to your brush, especially if it's a natural hairbrush. Plastic ones, it'll damage that quite a bit too. But this stuff Works pretty good. Yeah, good stink to it. I'm feeling sick, which is lovely. Just go get some fresh air for a minute here, but that's about it. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys.